What I'd like to talk about is persistence and its role in obviously getting you to your destination. Any pointer, any approach that you're going to undertake, regardless of what it is, will fail until the key ingredient, which is you, recognizes yourself for what you are. I was listening to an interview about a certain speaker, and one of the things that he said was he always knew he was going to get realized because he was convinced he was going to get realized, and it didn't matter what he was going to do, but he was going to find out. He was going to find his answers. And in that sense, what it was is he just persisted. He went through the bad, the good, the indifferent. He failed, he got back up, and he kept going and he found the destination. Similarly, in my own story, my own experience, I remember there was a point there was so much pain that I would have done anything to get rid of this pain. So in that sense, all I could actually do was travel forward. I persisted, I kept going because I knew I couldn't travel backwards, I couldn't go anywhere else. This was it. And what you find is the reason most people don't really kind of get to a destination, whatever they decide to do in life, whatever goal that they want, whether it's to seek realization or lose weight or make more money, is they fail to recognize that there's going to be ebb and flow in their journey. And they expect the journey to be a certain way. So they expect it to be all blissful and all lovely. And at the first sight of adversity, what happens is they quit. Now, adversity is where you're tested, and it's where you realize you're a lot more stronger than you are, and it's a place that builds courage, and it's something to be welcomed, and it's something to be expected as well, because we expect it to be blissful. We don't expect it to be messy. We don't expect to be confronted by our demons, so to speak. And this is where being persistent and saying that I am going to stick to this regardless of what's happening through thick and thin, regardless of ridicule, regardless of things falling apart in my life. If you feel that this is what you want to do, then you've got to, in a sense, kind of go for it. And that persistence will see you through. Bayezid Bastami, the famous Sufi, once stated, "Seekers cannot know this, and yet only seekers get this." And the key ingredient there is, like I said, it's yourself, and it's persisting. It's kind of holding on to that point where it may not seem logical, and at that point, your mind, your ego, pretty much everything around you, the people around you, because remember, the mind is that powerful, it will create situations around you, will tell you to, in a sense, stop. And that's where persistence is needed. In a sense, almost like a faith, a belief beyond any logical sense that you will get to your destination, whatever it is you're looking to achieve. I always say any self-help approach, any pointer taken to its logical conclusion, will show us what we truly are. Even if it's as simple as you get up in the morning and you decide, well, I'm going to go on a diet. Well, as you're shedding the pounds, as you're changing, you'll start seeing more and more of yourself, and you will find that a very real fear can come up, because you've used the extra weight, you've used the lack of money, you've used having bad relationships as a way of keeping you safe. Well, not you safe, your subconscious mind has used it as a way to, in a sense, keep you safe. And sometimes that's completely logical. But when you then start seeing more and more what you are, the mind will redouble, will literally triple what it wants to do, in order to stop you from finding out what you truly are. Because remember, it's something I was saying to somebody the other day. The mind and the ego are very similar to a butler that lives in your house. And somewhere along the line, you gave the butler control, you gave your housemate control, you gave somebody else in the property control over something that wasn't theirs, and was actually yours. And that which is prior to mind is what you actually are. And what happens somewhere along the line, you've forgotten that. So these videos, these pointers, teachers talking, they're in a sense reminding you of what you are. You are not your mind, you are not your ego, you are not your story, you are so much more. They are a very small aspect of you. It's not a case of negating them, it's just saying, look, very, very small aspect of you. It's not just that, you are more than that. And when you realize you're more than that, there's space, there's options, and you'll find that it's a place of real bravery, it's a place of real courage. But it isn't a place that's going to be got to easily. You will look to sabotage yourself. Why? Because your mind and ego will want to keep you in bondage, so to speak, really, in this limited viewpoint of what you are, in this five sense reality, or however you wish to call it. And it's there that you must exercise vigilance, be more in the now, and at the same time also persist, because that which is sought is found. It can be found. It's a realization. That realization happens in you, and sometimes what can happen is, yes, it can be here and now, but for some it can be a very real journey. And if it's a very real journey for you, then you've got to persist, because a lot of seekers, what will happen is they'll be seeking. The mind has played this little trick on them. It's all I said to them, well, yes, you will find it, but that realization's in the future. So what happens is, it's there, it's a reality. The mind acknowledges it's a reality, but then tricks you into believing it's at some point in the future, because the mind cannot deny this. The mind cannot deny what it truly, is, and where it truly comes from. And where it truly comes from this essence, from this source, it's a small manifestation of something bigger, a dualistic point in the whole oneness of it all. This is one thing. When you drop that separation, what you'll find is you're so much more. So persistence, and really accepting whatever comes up, come what may, whether it's good days or bad days, will mean that as you start seeing more of yourself, and regardless of wherever you start from, whether it's some self-help approach, so whether it's from some pointer, whether it's as simple as just feeling slightly better about yourself and telling yourself one good thought a day, what you'll find is, as you see more and more of yourself, there is fear there, because what you do when your excuses start running out, because we do love our stories, we do love our excuses. It gives us an excuse not to, in a sense, live to our fullest potential. As the quote attributed to Marion Williamson says, it is not our darkness, our light it's our light that scares us most, because our light shows us what we truly are, which is this wholeness, this completeness, this perfection, in the truest sense of the word, that exists here and exists now, in which there are no excuses, but at the same time there's nothing but love, there's nothing but joy, there's nothing but this eternity. As I say to people, if you could see what you truly are, you wouldn't waste a second of your life, because you would see the beauty of this. You would see what you are, and in that there's eternity. There's no concept of this death or this pain or life or joy or bliss. It is something so much more. So wherever you are, start, persist. Whether you start with something, just telling yourself repeatedly that you are, or that it is here and now, or you want to make slight changes in your life, whether it is as simple as, I want to change my relationship, I want to go write that book, go do that, go do that journey, go sing that song, whatever it is. What you'll find is, you become braver by being constantly tested. You become more courageous by being put in situations. And what happens is, life will constantly test you. As I say, there's no teacher that's better than life. And life will show you that the limits that the mind has imposed upon you, that the ego has imposed upon you, that you have, in a sense, almost imposed upon yourself. Because remember, you handed over power at some point, whether you were tricked or whether you consciously decided, well, look, I'll give the mind so much more sway than it deserves. Because remember, it's a tool of creation. That's all it is. It thinks the thoughts out. It verbalizes this video. It makes these things happen. But again, it's a tool. You wouldn't give a spade control over every aspect of your reality, and it's pretty much in the same league. It's there to create. Yes, it's a wonderful creation. It's amazing what it can actually do. However, what you are is so much more. So, next time you find yourself wanting to kind of fall over, wanting to quit, realize that it's your mind sabotaging you. Realize that this is where you need to be persistent, because self-sabotage is incredible, but it all is rooted in the mind. But it pales in comparison when you see what you truly are. When what you are is recognized, the mind will automatically go back to its place. The machinations of this mind, the game it's playing, and everything will be seen through, and it will naturally quieten down. Or if thoughts come, as I say, pay them no mind, see them as children, they're moving here or there, or pick the thought that helps in creating whatever you want. You are genuinely that powerful. So it is my wish that you take that journey, or realize what you truly are and realize what it's really about. But persist. You will be stronger, you'll be braver, you'll be more courageous. And what you will find is that the so-called limits that you've imposed upon yourself, as you decide to take this journey or realize what you truly are, deepening in this realization, you'll realize they're not real, these limits. You're so much more. So I believe that's that on that subject. I will be obviously pouring out more videos, get some great feedback. I'm running up and down the country and planning to do more talks, so do watch this space. Subscribe to the channel, obviously, if you like what you're hearing. It's always good to meet new friends. And you know, obviously, if you have any questions, or you want to chat to me or anything, yeah, just, you know, do drop me a line. A lot of these videos are in response now to questions that people are asking, because it's very easy to make this a very ethereal, otherworldly, let's be real theoretical about it, and let's not try to sound like this and this. But it's something, as I say, if we look back at the experience of teachers a couple of 100 years ago, you know, the echelons of society, you know, the higher echelons of society sent their children to these masters in order to learn this practical reality, because it should be a practical reality. It doesn't matter if it sounds very esoteric and it sounds wonderful, but it's not helping you in a practical way. This is a practical reality that's being spoken of. This is something that's here and now, and it's you. So I'm not talking about something esoteric. I'm talking about you. You're the answer. You're the question to yourself, however you wish to put it. And what you will find is, as you see more and more of yourself, you'll see options, and then life is lived in the truest sense of the word. You know, the Sufis have this amazing saying. It goes, granted, the world is an illusion, but we still have to live in it. We still have to engage in this. One of the problems that you see with a lot of people, they want it to be so otherworldly or so ascended off to another dimension, that they're not dealing with what's in front of them, which is here and now. And that's where, by seeing what you truly are, there's a real responsibility of being the best possible version you can be, you know, striving. And I'm not talking in some sort of a self-help way, but just being more authentic and being more real. So constantly be looking at your experience, constantly be looking at what it's all about, constantly be recognizing what the mind is doing, or whatever. Don't even fight it. What you resist persists, as they say. Just see it for what it is. As you see through it, it will automatically quieten. And in that quiet, in that space, what you'll find is you'll see more and more of what you truly are. And then it strengthens. It strengthens, and it emanates. And it's a beautiful place. But the beautiful place that I'm speaking of is not some esoteric, you know, enlightened state that's happening for only a few people. I'm talking about you. I'm talking how you function. This is you. It's, you know, it's not anything outside yourself. You know, everything is found where you are. You, in a sense, in all of these pointers coming together, you're the missing link, because they point to you. So have a good one wherever you are. Be happy, be blessed, and as I always say, you know, be you. And I shall see you on the next video.